to Stem Cell Friends, and today we are talking about, drumroll please, the kidneys. Your kidneys regulate the amount of fluid in your body, detect waste in your blood, and they know when to release the vitamins, minerals, and hormones you need to stay alive. Their main job is to dispose waste products. The 8 liters of blood you have go for your kidneys 20 to 25 times each day. Blood enters each kidney through arteries. The kidney contains 1 million nephrons. Nephrons filter the blood. The first part of the nephron is the glomerulus. You could consider it as a highly specialized mass of capillaries. It is surrounded by the Bowman's capsule. Blood pressure forces fluid from the blood into the glomerulus, into the Bowman's capsule. If you look at this diagram, here is capillary, the glomerulus, and here's the Bowman's capsule. As the blood pressure forces the blood into here, some of the blood comes back into the glomerulus to go around your body again. When it's in the Bowman's capsule, it's called, drumroll please, the filtrate. There can be water, glucose, amino acids, salt, ions, medications, vitamins, and urea. Urea is a waste produced by the liver. Outside the nephron, there is a fluid called the interstitial fluid. If you look on the diagram, it's here. But if you look at key vocabulary, it's also there. See here. Anything that enters the interstitial fluid eventually gets into the blood again and goes around our body to be reused. Let us follow the filtrate on its journey through the nephron. After the Bowman's capsule, it enters the proximal tube. The word proximal means close. You can think of it as being closest to the start, the Bowman's capsule. In this tubule, salt, water, glucose, amino acids, and urea enter the interstitial fluid. Not all of these go into the interstitial fluid. If I say they enter the interstitial fluid, I do not mean all of everything in the filtrate. Some do remain behind. Also, H+ ions, ammonium, and urea are reabsorbed into the proximal tube. You can tell that this helps to regulate the pH. pH is the scale, meaning power of hydrogen, that measures acidity or how alkaline is. We'll make a video on that later. Okay, back to the kidneys. After the proximal tube is the loop of Henle. It has a descending limb and an ascending limb. If you look at the diagram, here is the descending limb, and here is the ascending limb. Let us follow the filtrate again. On the descending limb, there are aquaporins. What are aquaporins? They are channels that make it easy for water to travel through into the interstitial fluid. In the ascending limb, there are no aquaporins, meaning that water cannot escape. Also, osmosis means that the water will leave into the interstitial fluid, and salt will leave from a low concentration of salt to a high concentration of salt to a low concentration of salt. Urea enters the filtrate. Now, after the loop of Henle is the convoluted tubule. NaCl, which is a type of salt, water, and bicarbonate are released back into the interstitial fluid, while ammonium, potassium, and H+ ions enter the filtrate. Now we finally get to the grand finale, the collecting duct. At this point, NaCl NaCl, water, and urea leave the filtrate. But here is where the hormones come into play. The hormones regulate how much water leaves the collecting duct. If you don't have enough water in your body, let's say it's an extremely hot day and you haven't chugged enough water, your urine is very dark and yellow. Well, if you've drank too much water on this hot day, your body will try getting rid of this excess water or causing it to leave, meaning your urine is more brighter in color. It's yellow, but a brighter shade, sometimes even transparent. The urine is finally excreted out of the kidneys and into the bladder. Also, there are other substances going in and out than what we mentioned. Here's some key vocabulary. Hormones, urea, glomerulus, filtrate, interstitial fluid, and aquaporins. The video's not over yet, though. The kidney has another superpower. It can activate vitamin D, which is a vitamin your body does need. It can secrete renin. But what is renin? It's a hormone that raises blood pressure. It also produces erythropoietin, which is another hormone which increases red blood cell production. Also, fun fact, red blood cells are also known as erythrocytes. Without your kidneys, every time you ate a piece of food or a slice of cake, your bodily fluids will go out of control, and eventually you die. No wonder your kidneys are one of the most necessary organs that you need to survive. Okay, now let's recap. Today we learned about the importance of the kidneys and how nephrons filter the blood. Here are the key vocabulary. Nephrons, hormones, renin, erythropoietin, urea, the glomerulus, filtrate, interstitial fluid, and aquaporins. If you don't remember what they are, go through the video and see if you can find them. Okay, now finally signing off from Stem Cell Friends.